The person that God has for you is going to challenge you. Any good man and any good woman is going to want you to be the best version of yourself. But if you don't want to be the best version of yourself, if you're not careful, you can push away what God has for you. It is possible to miss out on what God has for you. What God has for you is for you. That's if you do what He wants you to do. Because His word is conditional. His love is unconditional, but His word is conditional. So it's always about if you do this, then you get that. But if you're not willing to be challenged, if you're not willing to be able to see yourself and to grow and to stretch and to be a better version of yourself, then you might miss out on what God has for you. Don't make the mistake in pushing away what God has for you because the person wants you to be better. That doesn't mean that they want you to change who you are, but we should always want to grow. If you're with someone and they're not challenging you to be a better person, then what is the purpose? It should always be about purpose because the person that God has for you is going to be about purpose. That's why sometimes it takes time. That's why it's important to heal. When you don't heal properly, you will develop toxic traits, and those toxic traits will cause you to self-sabotage what is good for you. And then you start to be comfortable and complacent with the types of relationships that don't challenge you to be better. So sometimes people go back to what they're familiar with because they're not willing to change and they're not ready. You have to also be ready for what God has for you. They're going to challenge you. So be careful not to actually push away what God. A lot of times people are single and they're frustrated, but they're not introspecting and seeing why is it like this. Maybe if the person hasn't came along yet, there may be someone that's coming along, and you got to be ready spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. That's why it's important to heal, because God wants to align you with what He has for you. Be careful not to push away or self-sabotage what God has for you.